Hi, I'm Michael Matthews reporting with ABC6 Sports. Let's take you all around the state of Ohio for your latest sports news and coverage. Starting in that state up north, the Guardians traveled to Detroit last night for the first of a 3-game series with the Tigers. Shane Bieber would take the ball for the Guardians. He was excellent from the first pitch. Here he strikes out Javier Baez looking. However, he would finish his night with 8 strikeouts through 7 shutout innings. He would need run support from the offense, and he gets it here in the 6th inning after an RBI double from Ahmed Rosario, scores Stephen Kwan from second, 2-0 through 6. Then later in the 8th, the Guardians were looking for some extra insurance, and they get just that. This 2-run double off the bat of Oscar Gonzalez was his second of the night. Guardians lead 5-0 after the 8th. And eventually in the 9th, all-star closer Emmanuel Clase would come into the game. He would record the final out, and the Guardians would go on to win 5-2. Now, let's go to Queens, where the Cincinnati Reds traveled to New York to take on the New York Mets, who currently sit in first place in the NL East. Carlos Carrasco gets the ball for the Mets in this one, and he's enjoyed a nice bounce-back year. Let's take you to the scoring. Here in the 3rd, a former Guardian Francisco Lindor takes Mike Minor deep over the left field wall for a 2-run home run. Next inning, Jeff McNeil steps in against Minor, hits this solo home run over the right field wall, makes it a 3-0 game. Home runs have plagued Minor all season long, and the story was no different tonight. Now in the 7th, this would be the only offensive highlight of the night for the Reds. Jake Fraley takes Carrasco deep to the right field. However, this was as close as the Reds would get. The Mets go on to win 6-2. As summer's heat turns to winter's cold, the impalpable buzz surrounding the Ohio State football season gains traction in the late stages of July and early in August. The buzz reaches a whole new level when the preseason coaches poll is released. And after a disappointing end to last season's campaign, Ohio State checks in at number 2 on the top 25, coming in behind only Alabama for the top spot. Now, another team you might notice on this graphic, Ohio State's Week 1 opponent, the Notre Dame Fighting Irish. Now, despite losing former head coach Brian Kelly to Baton Rouge, the Fighting Irish are ranked in the preseason top 5 for the first time since 2006. First-year head coach and former Buckeye Marcus Freeman comes in with sky-high expectations throughout the streets of South Bend, and that's where our sports director Clay Hall is, giving us a preview of what's to come on September 3rd.
Hey, good evening to you from South Bend, Indiana, where it feels like a family reunion. Notre Dame with Ohio State connections all over the field. Let's get right to it. We start with the head coach, the former Ohio State linebacker Marcus Freeman. Now the Notre Dame head coach, he and James Laurinaitis, very close. In fact, former Pick Central wideout Lorenzo Stiles will return punts as well. And as we mentioned, the aforementioned Laurinaitis, the former 3-time Buckeye All-American, has humbled himself as a coach. He is a graduate assistant starting on the ground floor, but he well remembers those days as a Buckeye.
I showed up in Columbus the day before camp, like day before. There was no summer workouts. It was stayed at the Red Roof Inn right there on Old Tangy River Road, and I showed up, boom, with my dad, 2 duffel bags, let's go to camp. And I'm thinking, I'm probably redshirting, right? Marcus gets hurt, helps me. Now, oh shoot, now I'm the backup to Bobby Carpenter. And it was because that's when Marcus and I really became friends at that moment. So to be able to work with him now, it's awesome.
Former Ohio State linebacker Coach Al Washington now coaches the D-line here at Notre Dame. We can't forget about the home team, the Buckeye offensive lineman chatting up Columbus media today, and Luke Whippler, the Remington Trophy candidate, very high on the resume of his offensive line coach, Justin Fry.
He's been awesome. I think his experiences at Boston College and UCLA, being at Boston College, having the East Coast feel, and being able to run the ball down your face and understanding run game progressions, and then going to the West Coast and learning under Chip Kelly and the people he had out there, understanding the West Coast offense, spread it out, pass protection, bringing both of those together, and now coming to Ohio State, literally in the middle of the two. He's really been able to implement both of our run game progressions and our pass game progressions. It's been really cool to learn, and we're still learning. We're not all the way where we need to be yet, but it's been really cool to see the start of it.
In South Bend, Indiana, I'm Clay Hall on your side for the Football Fever.
Thanks, Clay. You can check that game right here on ABC6. Kickoff is set for 8 p.m. Now let's bring you back home here to Central Ohio, where the Blue Jackets are wrapping up off-season activities. The Blue Jackets come out of this offseason with more national attention than anticipated after they signed top free agent and 5-time All-Star Johnny Gaudreau. Now, more recently, the Blue Jackets agreed to a deal with their last unsigned restricted free agent, right winger Trey Fix-Wolansky agreed to a 1-year, 2-way contract for 2022. Fix-Wolansky debuted for the Blue Jackets in 2021 and scored his first career goal in Washington with his parents in attendance. The Blue Jackets will open their season at Nationwide Arena against last season's Eastern Conference champion, the Tampa Bay Lightning, on October 14th. And in Columbus baseball, the Guardians announced this week that top prospect and potential future Major League star George Valera would receive the call-up from AA Akron to AAA Columbus. Valera, an outfielder, ranks as the number 2 prospect in Cleveland's farm system and the 29th best prospect in all of baseball. Valera started slow in Akron this year, but has rebounded nicely. Since June, Valera boasts a batting average over 300, an OPS over 900, 11 home runs, and speed to go along with it. If all goes according to plan, Valera is expected in Cleveland as soon as next season, and named to monitor in a Clippers uniform. Valera will join other highly regarded Guardians prospects, Bo Naylor, Gabriel Arias, and Logan Allen in Columbus as soon as this week, and he is expected to start in right field. And that wraps us up here at ABC6 Sports. I'm Michael Matthews reporting.